Hi, Margaret.
Hey Bob, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. Dealing with a leaky roof. Got to get
Oh,
people out. But other than that, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
man. All right, well, good for you.
Tonight's going to be a fun show.
Yeah, it's going to be mostly you because you are the aggressive specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I am. Um, the one thing about this show, I'm not going to give specifics on exactly how to start, or I should say, stop your problems because I haven't seen your dog. What you may think is aggression could be fear aggression. It could be a lot of people call, well, my dog's aggressive because he's barking at another dog and just wants to go play, or he plays aggressively. So, um, if you need to know what kind of dog you're dealing with, please send us something in the comments, which will come up on this show so we get an idea of what type of dog, what situation you're having with your dog when he becomes reactive or aggressive, or what you call reactive or aggressive. And we'll do the best we can to answer things. Do you have anything to add to that, Margaret?
Nope, just there's a lot that goes towards if your dog is aggression, and our definition of bite will be different than your definition of bite, and same goes with nip. If you say my dog nips somebody, well, you can't really explain that over the phone to a trainer. You need someone to come like Bob. I deal with, I'll do smaller. I know my limit because, I'm not as strong as Bob is. And he helped me a lot in Texas when we worked out there together. So really just
I'm
take
glad.
advantage.
I'm glad you didn't say the year.
We
Because
won't go there.
I'm as old as dirt anymore, you know. Um,
we won't go there.
yeah. Um, do we have anybody on right now? I don't know if we do, but I'm going to get this started.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have.
We do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have somebody on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as aggression, um, to me, when you're talking about aggressive dogs, man, that opens up a whole can of worms. And a lot of people aren't going to like what I say tonight. I'm not picking on people. Like I said before, I am very straightforward. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's just the way I am. Um, People, I would say 90%, the owners of the dogs start the problem. I know it's hard to believe, but yes, you people start your own problems. Um, and I don't care what what trainers you get. I don't care if it's me. You won't hear it come from me, but other trainers saying, I can fix that. I can fix that. Again, furthest thing from the truth. When it comes down to aggressive behavior, the only people that can control that behavior is the owners. You have to fix the problem. If I fix the problem, even at your house, he may not show any aggression whatsoever when people come in or another dog comes in, whatever he's reacting to. And the reason for that is he knows he can't get away with it with me. So he's going to cool his jets. But as soon as dear old mom takes the leash, or dad, and he knows he can get away with it, he is going to do it. So, again, you have to fix your problem. How are we going to fix the problem? Obedience.
Yep.
Obedience. People, if you can't get your dog to sit the first time,
Oh, I see.
okay, or
Sorry.
you can't walk your dog on a loose leash down the street and he walks at your side and he's nice and calm and you come to a stop and he sits and you can go on just a happy walk, how do you think you're ever going to stop an aggression problem? You're not. You can't just say, the hell with it, I'm going to let him do whatever he wants, but he's my baby, and I just want him to stop trying to bite people, or I want to be able to stop locking him up when people come over because I can't control him. Again, you started that problem. Why? Because you let him do whatever he wants. If you're on the couch, he just jumps on the couch whenever he wants without being asked or invited up. That's his couch. I'm going to get up and I'm going to lay on mom, and she's going to scratch my head. Or if that door's open, I'm going to run out that door. And then mom's going to get me and bring me in the house. And then she's going to, 5 minutes later, she's going to poo-poo and gaga all over me. People. It starts with a puppy. Don't think, well, I got a puppy and I just want some basic commands and puppy training. You can't look at it as a puppy. It's a dog. It's dog training. It's teaching them manners. If you don't want to teach your dog manners, don't call up a trainer for an easy fix if your dog starts showing aggression toward you or reactive over food or grabs your socks and you want to try to take it. A good trainer will say, lady, you got to put obedience on the dog. You got to teach them the basics. So what I would recommend is teaching your dog the basics. Teach them to sit or get a trainer. Teach them to sit, teach them to down, teach them to stay. Coupled with your aggression training or aggression modification course, whatever the hell you want to call it, that's what I would do. I'm dealing with some people right now. A lot of people, they start the problems. Like, let's say, and I don't know who exactly is on here. Anyway, I'm going to say it. There's a lady, I went to her house the other day. And she's very excited. Great lady. She's a super, super person. And her dog got something in. She would get up, like freak out and, come here, give me that. And go toward the dog or go to grab the dog. And the dog nips or growls and barks. Well, that's not all out and out aggression. That's fear aggression. It's fight or flight. You grabbed him. He's going to fight because he's afraid. So within, honest to God, Margaret, within 2 minutes, the dog was putting his paws on me and everything else, trying to jump in my lap when I was sitting down. He realized that 4 on the floor in a sitting position, I would praise him calmly. He caught on real quick. Then I took him by the front door and I told him to stay. It took me 2 minutes. I had the door wide open, stepped outside, and that dog didn't move. And he looked at me, and I even told the owner, he looked at me like, thank God someone is taking charge. Now I know what you want.
Exactly.
By just going crazy and panicking, you're freaking the dog out. Why? Because he was never taught what he was supposed to do. But if you handle the situation calmly and you're firm enough when he does something wrong, you walk up to him, no, sit, good boy. Don't get excited. Come on. That's like sticking a firecracker up his butt. He's
Party time.
Then you're going to freak out. And you say, oh, God, this isn't working. Stay calm.
Mm-hmm.
But take control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, not only does that work in obedience, that also is what works in controlling an aggression problem. Okay. A lot of trainers, I used to do it when I first started. It was like, man, I'm going to pick my moment and me and this dog's going to war. It don't work. It doesn't work. You cannot fight fire with fire.
Yep.
It doesn't work. The dog has no idea what you want. So, what I have found in a lot of good trainers is stay very calm and quiet. Do not get excited. I tell all my people, if your dog is going after people that come in your house or he's highly reactive, put the leash on him, give him half the leash length, sit across the room and tell your friends to come in and do not look at that dog. Don't talk to the dog. Don't touch the dog. And that goes for both of you. If you remain calm, believe it or not, it may take 5 minutes, but it will also have a calming effect on the dog. And he'll start shutting up. If mom doesn't get excited, if dad doesn't get excited, the dog's going to be like, hey, wait a minute, someone's coming in. Usually I get a tight lead or you grab me by the collar and you're pulling me back. Well, that's telling the dog, you don't got this. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do it.
You're afraid of something, and what just walked in, so let me protect. Yes, exactly.
And it's the same thing with fear aggression. The dog is scared enough. Okay, and what do I mean by fear aggression? And some people will understand this because their dogs do it. Someone comes in, the dog is sounds like Dino the Dino on the Flintstones. And he's showing his teeth and hair's up on his back, but he's kind of standing sideways. And when the people take a step, they back up and they and they do the Dino again. That's fear. Oh my God, who is this guy? Well, the people get afraid, and what do? They put the dog up. They put him away. Or
That makes it worse. Mm-hmm.
Like Margaret says, it makes matters worse. Why? Because you're telling this dog that these people are bad. You must I'm going to keep you safe. It's almost like what I call grandma or Auntie Am's dog. Okay, it's a syndrome, I call it. And I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. Go to grandma's house, or you go to a friend's house, or you go to your aunt's house, and they got this little cuckoo dog about this big. And ever since the dog was a puppy, they would answer the door holding the dog. It was their baby. And then mom would sit on the couch and she'd be holding the dog, petting it. You're under socializing that dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're showing that dog these people are bad. Mommy will protect you. And how do you figure this? Okay, well, as soon as you go to touch the dog, the little 2-pound little poofy dog turns into a poofy alligator. That's exactly why, because the owner did not socialize the dog properly. Now, controlling a situation. The key to controlling your dog in this situation is remain calm. Don't say, no, sit, come here, no, come here. Don't do that. Loose leash. And a lot of times you'll be able to have a dog walk by and your dog won't react. And a lot of people are going to say, well, God, that guy don't know my dog. Believe me, I've seen thousands of dogs. And I mean that seriously. Thousands. And If you remain calm, now you're getting it together. But it's harder, and Margaret will tell you this also, it's harder to teach the owners than it is the dog. The dog wants guidance. All right? Teach him to sit. Don't give him the reign of your house. That's your house. Teach your dog boundaries. Teach him how to behave in your house. That's one step up the stepping stone to stop your aggression problem. Okay? If anybody has any questions on that, write it and I will answer it. The other thing, aggression toward other dogs. Now, aggression toward other dogs. There's two parts to this. Okay? If you're going for a walk, your dog goes bonkers, even in a dog walking across the street, going the opposite direction, minding its own business. If your dog knows any obedience at all, make him sit and let him go by. Loose leash. I'm not saying give him the whole leash. Half the leash and stay relaxed. If he just watches that dog go by, praise him. If he starts barking, he receives more work. In other words, obedience. Work him. Take him to that heel, but do not let him get away with it. What we're doing, instead of these 100% positive reinforcement trainers who want you to try to redirect with a cookie, good luck with that. Okay? That's all I got to say. Just good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
We redirect. A good trainer will redirect with obedience. Okay?
Yep.
Another thing you can do is if the dog, read your dog, number one, it's reading your dog. If his ears come up and he gets a beat on that dog, nip it in the bud. Nudge him with your knee. Take your fingers and you can just touch him on the head or on his shoulder. But I mean, make it like a poke and associate the word no with that. It's going to startle him, just like if you're watching TV, husband or wife or whoever, and they're really involved in a TV show, and you're trying to talk to them, and you're not getting anywhere. Why? Because he's as focused on the TV or football game as that dog is looking at another dog. He's that focused. But if you went up next to him and you went, hey, not the
what?
Or wife, but it startles them. It gets their attention. But the key to this is don't nudge them and freak out at the same time.
Right.
Nudge them. Nope. It brings the focus right back to you. Okay? Don't nudge him when he's already barking and at the end of the leash. You're too late. And I've seen owners and I've seen some trainers doing protection work. They touch the dog to get him more excited, and he turns around and goes to snap. Almost like someone getting in a fight and someone goes to pull him off, the other person's ready to swing. So it's getting the attention of your dog. As soon as you get that attention, you don't praise him. He looks at you or he breaks his focus, take him right up the street at a heel and get him working.
Yep.
Okay. Then once he sits calmly, good boy. All right. And then he's going to start getting that idea. You can do that also in your house. If, let's say, someone comes in and the dog is at the end of the leash. Number one, stay very calm. Don't say a word to that dog. Because that's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for you to try pulling him back or try talking to him. Don't do any of it. Let the person come in, sit down, have that person don't talk to the dog. Don't try giving him a cookie. Don't try giving him a toy. Just shut up and don't look at the dog. you'll see that dog is going to start looking back to you and wondering, why aren't you reacting to this situation? Now, on the other hand, if the dog is at the end of the leash at first and the people walk in, and let's say the dog jumps up on the couch and hugs you, man, he just leaned up against you and arr, arr, that dog is scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? On a situation like that, it's put him down on the floor, just pull him down. Don't try to grab him. Put him down on the floor. Every time he jumps up, let him realize nothing is going to happen to him if he just sits here. That's fear aggression. Okay? If he's on a leash and he keeps wanting to get up, that's his security, that couch. My mom, my dad, that's his security. Well, we have to build his confidence that this person is not going to hurt him. And by letting him jump up on that couch over and over and over, you're giving in. Put him back down on the floor. I don't care if it takes 30 times. Do it 30 times. The key to training is what, Margaret?
Consistency.
Right? If you're not going to be consistent, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the other part that I was talking about, let's say you have two dogs in the house. One came later, one came sooner. They've been with each other 70% of the time, 80%, 90% of the time. Let's go 90. 90% of the time, the dogs are fine with each other. They'll sleep with each other. They'll walk next to each other. No problems. Then you think, just out of the blue, boom, you got World War III in your house. You missed it, folks. You missed it. One dog will not go after another dog just out of the blue. There's got to be a reason. Whether one dog is telegraphing something to the other one or vice versa. That's when it happens. And who started it? The owners. I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback on this. I don't care. People start their problems. Why? Because the dogs have the run of the house and can do whatever they want. And it starts out by, stop the roughhouse play. If you see one dog laying down and he's sleeping, and the other dog is going to go up, it's like, I'm going to see what that dog's doing. Put a stop to it. Get in between the dog and back the other dog up. Why is he doing it? Because you allow it. Don't allow that type of behavior. If one dog is sleeping, you put the other dog on the other side of the room. You get him away from that other dog. And if you don't do that, everything I'm telling you right now is not going to work. If you can't control your dogs in your house, and you know it's coming, and I mean it's bloodbaths when they fight, your choices are train your dogs and teach them when one dog is sleeping, you stay away from that dog. If that dog is chewing on that bone, you stay away from that dog. And if you don't do that, if you don't have it in you to do that, get rid. I know you love them. Get rid of one of the other dogs. That's all I can say. Because you will never stop unless you intervene. That's just like if you know one kid hates another kid and every time he sees them, he's going to beat this kid up. What are you going to do? Just sit there and let it happen? No. You get in the middle of it and back the other kid down. It's not acceptable. And it's the same thing. People let their dogs run their household. Do you agree with that, Margaret?
Yes, sir. Yep. And sometimes they don't realize what's going on until it's too late. And then we have to come in and first establish the groundwork of obedience, and then get those two dogs to think of themselves as a team rather than opponents.
Exactly.
And who's the alpha? The humans. You're their pack, even though you're human. Okay? So you have to take that mentality with that. So,
the more the one dog knows, like, if you know it's going to, it may not come. It could be that other dog wants to go play with that dog. I don't care. Get in the middle of it and put a stop to it. And once you start showing that dog dominance, and it's not going to happen under my watch, he'll start obeying them. Okay? He'll start backing off. He knows it's not right. But what opens up a line of communication, people? I've said it in other shows. I've said it on my family dog training videos that's on my Facebook page. Okay, under family dog training. What do you think that is? Margaret, do you know?
obedience opens the line of communication.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're teaching the dog right from wrong, simple, basic commands.
Yep.
Sit, okay. Give him his praise. Stay, okay. Give him his praise. You know, people sometimes don't think about that. Like you say, Margaret, people think their dog, it's a computer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not, okay? I would get, if you have two problem dogs in your house and they're fighting on and off, and I'm going to tell you this straight up. A lot of people say, well, one dog gets a timeout in his kennel and we have to lock the other dog up. Or one dog gets put in the kennel and we just leave the other one out. Wow, are you making a mistake?
Yeah.
In the middle of a fight, you break the dogs up, you put them on a leash, the husband holds one dog or your teenage son or whatever the case, you put the leash and never separate those dogs. You put them in an obedience command. You stepped in the middle, you stopped it, and you're showing the dogs then that you're not putting up with it. But by separating the dogs, you're not solving anything. You're avoiding the situation. But, you know, if you guys want to walk around pins and needles and pay vet bill after vet bill after vet bill, knock yourself out. I can't help you. No trainer can help you. But remember, don't let a trainer pull the wool over your eyes and tell him he can fix the problem, because he's flat butt lying to you. It is solely in dog on dog in your house or going after people. It is the owner has to establish dominance. I'm not putting up with it anymore. And if you can't do that, get rid of your dog. And I'm sorry, yeah, I said it.
You heard it here.
I mean,
it's true though.
The whole thing about this show, and we told you this on the first show, I'm a very outspoken person. I am not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth, what needs to be done. It's up to you to follow through what I tell you to do. If you don't do it, no trainer can help you.
And if we don't tell you the truth, you're paying us to do a job and help you. And if we don't tell you the truth, we're doing you a disservice. We're just taking your money for nothing. So the best thing we can do is be open and honest and tell you the truth. I mean, before I met you in Texas, I worked in North Carolina for an in-home dog training company, and I got these new clients. They got 2 pit bull puppies, and they wanted them to protect, the house. So they were telling me like they were doing a good thing. Like, well, when people come over, we put them away so they don't become friends with strangers. So then they'll know. I said, whoa. Stop. Even then, before I met you. I knew. I said, no, the first thing we need to do is show them that everybody's friendly, because we need them to be socialized. Then, in protection training, we point out that person we want you with a, it's a command, just like obedience commands. We want you to protect now, not everybody that walks in the door, because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, and not someone's going to get hurt with that.
Right. Well, it's like I tell people, well, the dog goes to the window and they go crazy. Okay. Or someone comes up and they go crazy when someone knocks on the door, and they just bark and bark and bark and carry on. And I want it to stop. He barks too much. And I try telling people, you're walking a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
You got the dogs to alert you if someone is walking in your yard, if someone is coming up your driveway, if someone is trying to break into your house. So I tell them we can control the barking, but I don't like stopping a dog totally from barking. Okay? You can let them bark, tell them good boy, and then add a cut command or an out or whatever, which means cool your jets. This guy's okay.
Yeah, I got it from here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
And I have clients that I'm doing that with, and it's working out fine. But the thing is, you've got to follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you have two dogs that sporadically fight one another, I mean, you got to be diligent in stopping it. You've got to keep an eye on those dogs. Don't leave them loose in your house when you're not there, because you'll come home with blood all over your carpet, because you don't know when it's going to happen. All right? A lot of times I've seen fights start that a dog is barking at someone. Then the other dog is like, wait, I can bark. And they're both excited as hell. Next thing you know, dog fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because one dog's more excited than the other dog, and the other dog's trying to tell the other one, knock it off, I got this. You shut up, I'm going to bark. Next thing you know, you got a dog fight.
Right.
Folks, it's not easy. Nothing I'm telling you is easy. But if you want to solve the problem, what do you got to do, Margaret? Work on the problem.
Yep.
If it means having to watch your dogs like a hawk, watch the signs, the warning signs. One may walk up to another one, his neck may be arched a little bit. Man, you better get in the middle of them real quick. And I don't mean by screaming, running across the room, because that's going to heighten that other dog's aggression level. You have to stay calm. To control aggression, you have to be calm and take control. And even when you're taking control, you have to remain calm. In the middle of taking control, that don't mean no. And all of a sudden you start carrying on a 50-word conversation with the dog and get over here. You can't. All you're doing is heightening that dog's aggression level.
Exactly.
Now okay, if you're pulling me away, I really want to go to that dog. You can't do that. It's calm. The calmer you are, believe it or not, folks, it has a calming effect on the dog. It's even the best way I can put it to have you better understand a police officer. He goes, let's say, to a domestic, and people are yelling, or there's two people fighting, and they separate them. You hear the cop say, what the hell happened? Tell me what's going on. No. They use a very monotone voice and talk very calmly to the people. Why? Because it has a calming effect on that person. Even though that other person might be yelling at the person he was getting in the middle of, he's going to continue to talk calmly unless that person tries shoving him or something. Then it's another story. But the key to controlling aggression is staying calm and correcting the dog. Okay, it's staying calm. Tell them no. Let them know it's not right. But you can't. Let me say this again because I said it. You cannot control aggression 100% if you don't have control in simple commands. If the dog won't sit and he runs away from you and chase me through the yard and everything else and wants to be an idiot, don't think you're going to stop him from going after another dog because he's gotten away with so much with you. And you let it happen. Don't let it happen anymore. Find an obedience trainer. Let him start doing some obedience on the dog. And like I said, if your dog is reactive, and I'll fight this issue, I will argue this issue to any trainer in the United States. I've been around the block a little bit. This ain't my first rodeo with aggressive dogs. Don't let the trainer handle your dog right off the bat. It's doing nothing. If the dog is aggressive toward people, whether it be alpha aggression or whether it be fear aggression, especially fear aggression, and 99% of the time, it's fear aggression. Okay? Because mom and dad don't have, he's thinking mom and dad don't have this. I'll take care of it. Okay? You have to fix the problem. Every customer that I have that have fear aggressive dogs, if I handle the dog, the first thing he's going to try biting me, and then I'm going to have to hold him away from me and hold him away from my body. Tell him no. What am I doing?
Stressing
I'm heightening that dog's fear. I'm heightening his anxiety. And 9 times out of 10, I'm making matters worse.
Yeah.
But if I instruct the people what to do, then I will put the dog through different scenarios. Okay? But I teach the owner what to do. If they get too loud, their leash is a little bit tight, I'll say, loosen up on your leash. And I say it very calmly. Loosen your leash. That calms mom down because mom and dads are nervous because they don't want the dog to bite me. Relax. You know, the old saying, blow that shit out. It's only a dog. Take control of your animal. The calmer you are, the calmer your dog is going to be. But first things first, put a little bit of obedience. The other thing I want you to do is structure. The dog doesn't do anything unless it's approved by you, especially if you have a highly aggressive dog. You got to nip it in the bud. You got to show him, I am not putting up with this anymore, and you will listen to me. Not by throwing the dog against the wall or locking him in a bedroom, but staying calm and being assertive or taking charge. And believe me, it works. It may not work right.
Calm shows confidence, and that's what your dog is going to look up to you for. Is if you are confident in what you are doing, they're going to follow you a lot better. Have you had any dogs, Bob, that I've seen where out in, like the country, where people have a couple acres or something, where the dog is outside most of the day, so they see people walking by and this, that, and they go up and down the fence barking, and then their confidence gets more and more and more into that, so then they become aggressive, and then they call you, help. What do we do now?
What I normally do is, number one, obedience first.
Right.
Teach them that everybody isn't going to hurt them. I start on a 6-foot leash at first with the owner standing next to the fence and have the trainer walk by or a friend walk by, have the owner stay calm, take control, let them realize you don't have to do this. And then each time have your helper or friend move closer and closer and closer to the fence until the dog just, oh, that's just that person walking by. He's not a threat. The other thing, then I go to a long line, a 30-foot long line. I've even tied two 30-foot long lines together. So the owner is pretty far away. Okay. And let the dog realize that he can still get a correction from 50, 60 feet out.
Okay.
Nope. Okay. Because he will try because he thinks, well, the owner's way back here. I can charge the fence.
Right.
But it's got to be done gradual. I would have, like, if it was me, I would have the owner stand next to the fence, put the dog at a sit, and command, stay. I would be across the street, let's say, okay, and walk by. Then I would run by. Then I'd run by clapping my hands and yelling and doing all kind of crazy stuff. Dog reacts, he gets a correction. Once he gets that down, then I'll move a little bit closer, and a little bit closer, and a little bit closer. Okay. The one thing I don't want, and again, this all starts in the house, gradually working outside. I start all my training inside.
Right.
Okay. Then I'll
Now,
take it outside.
would you tell them also to only let them outside when you can observe them and correct the bad behavior? And so when no one's home during the day, because, people leave them outside because, oh, he gets exercise all day when we're not home and this, that, and the other. I'm sure you've heard all, the reasons that people want to do that. And so, yeah, that's one thing I tell them too.
The thing a trainer has to establish, okay, when talking to an owner, it's got 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres, whatever. A lot of trainers will say, well, we're going to put an e-collar on the dog. We'll fix him. No. I'm sorry. That's my last resort. It really is. I stress to the people. I tell them point blank, we have to start somewhere. We've got to start somewhere. Remember, handling aggression is no different than handling obedience. Okay? It's short victories, gradually prolonging the time and the distance. Is that Brian?
Yes, sir.
From Texas?
Yes, sir. It's our own Brian Thomas.
Right. Hey, what's up, Brian? Haven't talked to you for a while. I used to work with Brian. He just popped up there. But again, if you're not at home, and I know everybody says, well, he's a ranch dog. He's my Aussie, and he stays outside all the time. People, you've got to start somewhere. Even like what Brian said. Your dog may be perfectly fine in the house. Leave him in the house. If he's not fine in the house, put him in a kennel. I don't care if you keep him in a barn. Just do something with him. In order to solve a problem, we have to use. I can't stress this enough. You've got to use diligence to solve your problem. You've got to be diligent or don't waste your money trying to train your dog. All right? So, if you're not at home and you got a big ranch or something like that, again, it's no different than obedience. We start with baby steps, gradually making it harder and harder and harder. If your trainer tells you, whether it's me, whether it's Margaret, whether it's another trainer somewhere in the United States, do what he says. Start small, gradually working the whole area. But we have to start somewhere, folks. We have to. So if there's any questions, please write it in comments, send us an email. And I believe our email address is what, Margaret?
It's rockanddogs11@gmail.com. And
you go.
we both check it. So,
Yeah.
just send any questions you have. The biggest experience I have with aggression is like the little dogs. People carry the little dogs everywhere. I know my little puppy, and carry. Then they get a fear aggression, like Bob is talking about, because they only get their confidence with you, and they're stronger when they're like being carried by you or anything like that. So the first thing I ever tell someone with a little dog is put them on the floor.
Right.
We're going to work their obedience on the floor. We're not going to carry them everywhere, and then they build more confidence on their own, so then they don't feel the need. And then the same time with the obedience, you're gaining more control. You're gaining yourself as the alpha leader, and things start coming into place. So stay consistent. Work the obedience. I'll tell you a funny thing. When I worked in North Carolina, I actually had someone tell me, country people want to have their dogs get aggressive, so they use gunpowder.
All they're doing is hurting the dog's belly. What is wrong?
I was like, what?
When you're sick, leave me the hell alone.
I'm like, we're not going there.
Hey, I don't know if Brian is still on here.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He said, hello, sir.
Brian, this is what I'd like, but I'm going to run it by you. I know Margaret wouldn't have a problem. One of these shows we're going to do is the difference between private lessons in the home, private lessons at a facility, or a board and train. And since you do board and train there, Brian, in a home environment, I would like you to touch base on what clients should look for in a good board and train trainer. Not only while the dog is there at the facility, but the follow-up lessons, how many lessons they should get, things like this. I would like to bring you on as a guest here, maybe in the next few weeks. And then like Margaret can touch base on some of what she does as far as the service dog end of it. And I will touch base on what to look for in a good in-home trainer. Okay. And
he says he doesn't go to people's homes.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
I want him to touch base to the viewers that we have what to look for at a board and train facility.
Gotcha.
The way it should be done.
Okay.
I'll handle the in-home. You handle like the service dog end, what to look for in a decent trainer. And I think that's going to benefit a lot of people. Another thing that I'm going to bring up is, and I'm not tooting my own horn, because everybody knows that timing is the most important part of a correction. If your timing is off, the correction does no good. Okay? Thank you, Brian. The different types of training, like there's trainers out there. Well, the only way I went to school for 8 weeks and I watched my 4 weeks of videos, and I did 3 weeks of classroom, and I worked 3 dogs, and we train. The way I was trained is with a prong collar. That's the best way. Then the other trainer says, well, an e-collar is the best way. All right. People, I'm open to all sorts of different training methods. I'm not knocking really anybody's method. But if you can't walk your dog down the street with a flat collar on a loose leash, or command him in your yard with a flat collar, I train a majority of my dogs. A lot of times I don't even use a martingale. I'll use a regular flat collar like people hang the dog tags on. And it works. I'm not saying in aggressive situations, when we're talking about aggression training, but I'm saying general obedience. If your timing is right and you show the dog what's expected, you won't have any problems. Um, uh, there you go, Brian. You said it. You nailed it right there. What Brian said. Because if you start correcting your dog, what you call a choke chain, I call a training collar. If the dog, I've corrected dogs with a training collar, what you call a choke chain, and I freaked the dog out with a baby one. But I was 100% successful with a flat collar. Okay? And the main thing is this, people, again, and I can't stress this enough, stay calm. You get excited, you're going to get the dog excited. And I think as far as the aggression, I got toward dogs, toward people, toward the owners. 9 times toward the owners, I run into aggression problems over reactive dogs, over food, over possessions, things like this. And we touched base with that in a previous show. You can look it up. I'm not going over it again now. Okay.
Here's one.
Or aggressive toward the leash.
Yep.
Perfect example. 9 times out of 10, the dog gets aggressive toward the leash is because you've been too hard on the dog. And he thinks that leash is discipline. That leash is only an extension of your arm. And if you use it any other way, you're wrong. And I will argue that point to any trainer in the United States. All right?
Now, sometimes would you think that a dog that is headstrong, very much wants his way, and you just correct him a few times, he may just have a little attitude towards the leash, but not true aggression towards the leash yet.
But, and again, I read a dog when I'm working him. If I notice he's getting reactive, I'm not going to discipline it. I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to keep myself safe, number one. But if he's going for the leash, I'm going to relax. I'm going to try calming him down. And if I have to, I'll take a couple steps and I'll tell him to sit. Or if it's a stay that he constantly breaking, he's going to fight the leash because he knows that's where that correction's coming from, and he's grabbing for it. I'm going to go stay, and I'm not going to move. And then I'm going to praise him. Then instead of going to the front, I'm going to sidestep. 1 step. Go back. Let him realize it's not going to hurt him. There you go.
Yep.
There you go. It's just like we've been saying the whole time, Margaret and I.
Yep.
But that's all I have at my end on aggression. I hope you guys learned something. But the key to aggression is stay calm. If you have 2 dogs in your house in sporadic fights, get in the middle of it. If another dog is laying down minding his own business and the other dog walks up to him, stop it before he gets there. You've got to show dominance. Leave that other dog alone when he's laying down. Coupled with obedience. Remember, folks, if your dog don't sit and stay, if a dog don't do simple commands, don't think you're going to stop them from showing aggression. And as far as aggression goes, 9 times out of 10, you created it. You let the dog do whatever he wants. So, again, that's enough of me. If Margaret's got something to add, Margaret, add it. What I'd like everybody to do, if you like this show, share, like, subscribe. Would greatly appreciate it. I will see y'all next week. Margaret, Brian will be on possibly next week or the week after. if that's okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we'll do that.
I'd like Brian to, share to his clients that he has down there in Texas. I worked with Brian for many years in Texas. Um, he's a good trainer. Margaret's a good trainer. Um,
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that, man. Yes. We got his seal of approval, Brian.
but what I want to do, I'm going to let Margaret add a couple things if she'd like. But please send an email, put something in comments, let us know any questions you might have, and possibly clarify a few things for you. Yep. It's all you, Margaret.
Thank you for your expertise tonight on that, Bob. I really, really appreciate it. And to get further in anything in life, you can't ever say that you know everything. And we are constantly learning, and I know I am. And, to continually learn from you is a blessing to me. So I appreciate you doing this.
You're welcome.
The biggest thing we say is with anything you want to teach your dog, whether it be to calm them down, to teach them to be a service dog, to be a therapy dog, just to be a great household member, you have to start with something, and that is the foundation of obedience. So please start with that. Think of it as an investment in your dog and you, to your communication, and get a quality trainer. Don't chintz out on this. Don't pick the cheapest trainer just because you're thinking of your wallet. Okay.
Exactly. And it's like Margaret said. I've been in this business professionally since 1978. I actually started training in high school, like I said. Was it the right way? Probably not, but I was getting by. The thing is, I've been in this business forever. I've seen every method of dog training that you can think of. What I do is I compile all those into one, but the main thing is I read the dog. There are times that a dog will throw a curveball at me, like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
And I got to figure out, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go to different methods. But when I find a method that works, I'm going to be consistent with that method. I'm not going to start with that method and then go back to what I was doing. If it works for the dog, you stay with that method that you were using. Every single day, if a trainer says, I know it, I don't learn nothing, I can read a dog like the back of my hand. But I learn every day when I'm working a dog. Every day. They throw you a curveball. They got their own personality. Brian learns every day. Margaret learns every day. I learn every day. 1,000 other trainers learn every day. And if they say, no, I didn't learn that, well, they're lying to you. You pick up something from every dog you work. So, guys, like, share, subscribe. Margaret, it was a great show. I really
yes, sir.
Brian, I really appreciate you for chiming in. Brian will be on either next week or the week after. And we're going to send them the link how to get on here, and we'll go from there. So, peace out, people. Have a great week.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.